Hi guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I remade Bicep's track Water.
You brought me back to safety. Too bad that we lost all our time. Alright, but I'll get over that. I don't wanna overanalyze. I'm just so glad you saved me. High up in the crowd, up in the sky. Alright, and I just can't calm down.
Bicep are a garage duo from Ireland. They've made a huge name for themselves over the past few years. When they're playing live, they usually play on live synths and put on quite a show, and they've got a huge following all over the world. If you want to download this project and you can't be asked to make it yourself, then the link for that is below in my bio. I'm going to be a lot more active on this channel now, and I'm going to be aiming for 2 videos a week. So I will see you around. Let's get on with it. So one of the most standout elements from the track Water would definitely be the bass. It sounds like this. It's really simple to make. Obviously, if you go to my Patreon, you can get the project from there, which comes with all the presets. But I'm going to show you right now how to make it from scratch. Great, so how to make it. Initiate preset. We need a saw wave in oscillator A, saw wave in oscillator B. We're just again going to fine tune them. So -21 should work. Anywhere from about -10 to -30. Any more than 30, it starts to sound a little bit too detuned. So once it's detuned, let's hear it. See, already it's sounding really good. All it is two saw waves playing against each other. You think this would sound wrong, but it just sounds so fucking right. We then got this filter, so you want to put it on oscillator A and B. So take out some of the harsh high end. And already, look, feel how warm that sounds. It's exactly the same bass that Overmono use in their tracks, and it's just really good. So simple, but so good. Maybe add a bit of boost, up the res, bit of fat. And it's as simple as that. I've added no effects on mine. You don't really need to either. So on mine I actually did detune it more, so 37. So that's about as far as you can do it. I then got a macro. So this macro, all you've got to do is drag and drop it onto the filter. And then it's like that. And then so we choose macro 1, and then all I'm doing with that is automating it. So as you can see, macro 1, it automates. So at the start of the bass, it's low, so there's no high end, and then towards the end, it helps build tension. All the high frequencies sort of come in. Then got a kickstart on it, so side chain, and a little bit of saturation coming from the drum bus. Next we move on to the drums. So the drums are garage drums. There's a slight variation to the kick. So it starts off on a garage pattern, and then it goes on to just a 4 on the floor house pattern. Let's get into that. So the drums all together sound like this. First we've got this kick. This is the pattern. So one on the first beat, and then one on the 1.3 beat. 1.33, really simple. Then got a slight bit of EQ taken out the top end and a drum bus, fatten it up a bit. We then move on to the rest of the drums. Got 2 snares, so it's jungle snare, and then the second snare. So really beefy snares. Don't really use claps in garage. Instead of a clap like you would in house, you use snares. So that's sort of how you get that garage sound. We then got this hat. So yeah, as I said, that snare is on every beat like you normally would a clap in house music, so on every other beat. We then got the hat, just the same as in house music. No processing at all on any of the sounds. It's all about good sound selection when it comes to garage or any music really. What I then have, without it, they're really dry, but I've added this reverb. Really wets them up and makes them less harsh, because in the Water track, everything's a bit drowned out in reverb, which is a really nice effect. makes it feel like it's a bit sort of underwater, builds the atmosphere. I've then also got on the drums this ride. Really helps bring it all together. Brings a nice groove to it. It's just a random one that I have from my drum library. On its own, I've got no processing on it. So yeah, that's really nice. So you can use any ride loop, just drag and drop it onto that, onto the drums. We've then lastly got this vocal. So it's a really nice vocal. So there's no effects, obviously. All the effects are pre-done by Bicep themselves. But what I have done is make it a little bit more atmospheric, like the actual track itself is. Grab the vocal, and then I've added this bright long reverb. Okay, and then I've boosted it all the way to 100%, so it sounds like this. And then, if you freeze the track, flatten it, then you get left with this, which I've put exactly under the vocal. With it, this helps add that extra bit of atmosphere that really helps the track. We've then got these synths and leads. So this is just a basic saw, really simple, so just a saw wave, and then the notes are as follows, and then we've got this lead. So this is actually a bit of a funny thing, this lead. I spent probably longer on it than I should have. So, without this arpeggiator, it's just a really basic lead. But then it's sort of adding this effect, if you hear. So you can hear that in the original. This probably isn't exactly how they've done it. I mean, I doubt they've used an arpeggiator to do it, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure how they have done it. This was my sort of workaround. So the arpeggiator is just making the synth keep hitting that note. It works really well when there's two notes, so there's unison. Obviously you can play around with the sync. And the settings on the arpeggiator, but all we've got is this triangle wave and going through a filter, and then on the amp I've added a little bit of an attack, as without it it's too clicky. Then just to brighten it up, I've got this OTT, 33% depth, got the side chain, and then increasing the high end. We've then got this bass. So this comes in about halfway through. Helps add a nice bit of rhythm. It sounds like this. Decent. Yeah, so I made this from scratch. It's this way basic shape, so it's just a sawtooth. And then what I've done is added this sync on this menu here. So if you click on the sync and then no window and then boost up a bit, then it adds this strange little thing at the end. And then I've got the sub -1, so that really gives it the girth. And in terms of the envelope, just a slight bit of decay. Then we go to effects, got quite a few effects going on. So I strip them off. Not doing a whole lot. Apart from this EQ taking out all the top end. Slight bit of delay. The compressor making it a bit larger. Same with the distortion. This making it a bit wider. And then the reverb giving it a slight bit of. Great guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time.